The city of Waterville has been in a constant battle of recovery after the historic June flooding. Many businesses are still trying to get their footing, even when they sell necessities. Nikki Hallman takes us to the one grocery store in Waterville.
It's hard, okay?
Richard and Wendy Davis own Davis's Marketplace, the only grocery store in the small town. They were not prepared for what would come after Waterville experienced a historic flood.
It's a struggle. You know, we had projects planned for this summer, and we're trying to keep on that.
When water levels began to rise on Friday, June 21st, sandbagging began throughout the town. And within days, residents would disappear from the city.
People are realizing that, oh, we have to evacuate our homes, or there's only one way into town.
Although they were concerned with their own house and business, the Davises took the time to help others, preparing food for everyone, working hard to protect the town.
Sandwiches and that was just, you need it, we're gonna do it, and we did.
After the flooding frenzy, it was a slow season at the store, when it's usually bustling.
Sales, of course, dropped, and it was supposed to be 4th of July weekend, and usually that is just our biggest weekend.
Looking forward, the Davises say they're unsure if business will pick up.
This is summer. We should be busy. We should be able to do things, and nobody is getting to enjoy their summer.
In Waterville, Nikki Hallman, KEYC News Now.